Hi all. Today we'll study about intermediate code generation. Okay. So here, if you observe our compiler, we divide it into number of phases, C and number of phases, and we can divide it into two main parts. Okay. First one was front end, second one was back end. So here, intermediate code generation comes under front end's last part. Okay. So there is nothing but whenever whatever phases are there, out of those phases this phase will come in a front end's last part. Okay, so here what is our intention is, so whenever you are developing a compiler dividing into two parts, so if I divided this first part, okay, and generated some intermediate code, okay, so here in m number of ways I can do this one, and second part, from this intermediate code generating the actual object code I can do in n number of way. Okay, so you have two different parts, so we can have m into n number of different number of models to develop a compiler. Okay, so up to here first part, okay, so m number of ways will be there that I can map into n number of different ways to create a backend code. Okay, so here you can have m into n number of different models how to create a compiler. Okay, so that's why actual compiler is divided into two parts, and we have last part inside a first part of the first part. We have last phase is a, that is nothing but a intermediate code generation. So this intermediate code generation is whatever we will do it, that is nothing but it's not dependent on any language and it's not dependent on any machine also. So okay, this is just, it's a imaginary part kind of thing. It's not been compiled, or you can't run it in that code. Okay, that is a simply one kind of form will be given to the next part. Okay, so this is not dependent on any particular language, this is language independent, and this is not dependent on any particular machine also. Okay, so here now next thing we'll go. So already we have studied, okay, that is nothing but syntax tree we have studied. Okay, that is in semantic phase. Syntax tree will take it as a annotated parse tree. Okay, that will convert it as a annotated parse tree. Then we will how to evaluate that annotated parse tree also we studied it. So if you observe that tree, what will happen in that tree, you will be having a n number of different nodes. Okay, suppose if you consider this expression, okay, b minus c, here this is repeating twice. So whenever you will draw out the tree, twice b minus c will come. Okay, so that is like this, b minus c one place, one more place somewhere b minus c. Okay, so this again we'll use it somewhere. Okay, so this part completely already it's there somewhere else, but again this is coming it. So in implementation what will happen, this part entire thing will repeat it. Okay, so how many times we are using same variable inside a expression, those many times it will repeat it. So if you observe here a twice is there, so twice it will repeat in our tree actually. So in implementation also it will repeat twice. To avoid that one, what we'll do is we'll go for one more tree, that is nothing but DAG, that is directed acyclic graph. Okay, so in this, that repetition part will be removed and one small tree will be formed. Okay, compared to annotated parse tree, this will be the smallest one. Okay, so while implementing directly whatever repetition variables or repetition expressions whatever you have, that we can access easily. For example, here you can see, so we have b minus c. So once we calculated here this part as a b minus c. So next b minus c is multiplied with a. Okay, so here this b minus c whatever is there, so we are doing multiplication here with a. Okay, and if you observe b minus c, it's multiplying with d. So here b minus c we are multiplying with d. So twice same thing, we're instead of writing twice and using, so we're writing it only once. So this implementation wise this will be written only once. Okay, then value will be taken twice. Okay, then we observed here a variable also we have twice. So if you observe here this one, plus also multiplication also, only a variable is referred. So like this whatever repeated parts are there, that will be used once again. Okay, so how we'll write it, that we'll check it. So we'll take one SDD. Okay, so here STD, this grammar already we have studied. Okay, same grammar I'm going to take it. So E producing E plus T, E producing E minus T, E producing T, like that we have the grammar and corresponding semantic rule. So here we have now new thing as a, this is something as a new node we are creating and new leaf we are creating. So if you observe previously, there we had just evaluation part, how we will evaluate in semantic rule. Now here we are writing as a new node or new leaf something. So remaining part is same, but just here we are writing something else. So what is this something else is nothing but how we have to implement internally that part we are writing it here. So whatever we are doing is, whenever n node value you want, okay, n dot node, here node is nothing but attribute, n dot node value you want, that time you are creating a new node, you are creating it. Okay, so this node whatever is there, which has three things. First one is operator, second and third part is nothing but again two more nodes. So this is nothing but in a tree. Okay, so in a tree intermediate nodes whatever will come, that node we are talking actually. Okay, so in this it will be having one operator, okay, two more left and right, you can consider left and right, like that two more nodes. So reference to the left node and right node, like that it will be there. Okay, and for a leaf, so whenever leaf will be there, so only one node is there, so and this leaf should have actual value, so that value has to come from the user. Okay, so that's why we have this is id, then id entry. So what is id is nothing but, suppose if you consider this a leaf node, my leaf node value itself is id, so it should have particular some values. For example, if you have expression as a 2 plus 3, so here maybe here id value is 2. Okay, so that time it has to refer symbol table, where symbol table wherever you got id corresponding entry, so there will be a value, so that value you have to take it. Okay, or sometimes directly you will get the number only. Okay, so suppose like a plus 2. Okay, so for a it was id. Okay, so here it was referring from the symbol table, and to direct value, so that value, this value will come from actual directly from the lexical analyzer phase. Okay, so from there directly we will get it. Okay, so here we are writing now p1, p2, p3, like that. These are nothing but we are creating the nodes. Okay, so here how it will happen, it will always create it like a linked list. Okay, linked list, tree using linked list. Okay, so here, so this is, suppose if I consider as one node, consider this one, fifth one p5. So here this is operator is minus, so it's referring to the p3 and it's referring to p4. Okay, so here, and if it is a leaf, it has two things, so that is nothing but, consider this one, it is leaf, so leaf has id. Okay, this is an id and corresponding id entry d we are writing. So entry d is nothing but, in symbol table you will be having variable called d, so that d value will be there, that value you have to take it. So it has to refer to that symbol table, so it will refer to the symbol table entry, it will refer it. If it is instead of this one, if direct value is there, so instead of this one directly it will take, so that is num directly value from the lexical analyzer, it will read it directly, num value it will read it. Okay, so this is how actually we'll create the nodes and will implement it. This is nothing but, all these things are implementing tree using linked list. These all are nodes, your linked list. Now we'll see how to write a tree address code. Okay, so here tree address code, so what we have, if you return from the annotated parse tree, your tree address code size will be more. To reduce that, actually we require this DAG. Okay, from DAG, if you observe here, less number of nodes are there in this tree, and from this we'll get less number of code. Okay, so less code size will be there. Okay, so here, so what we are doing is, so whatever internal first calculation is there, one by one node calculation we have to do it. So b minus c we calculated in, and we kept in t1. This t1 is nothing but temporary one memory, so you can consider as it may be a memory or register. That in detail we'll study it later. Okay, so here consider as a t1 is a one temporary variable. Okay, now that one we have to multiply with a. Okay, here. Okay, so that value we are keeping in t2. Now again a we have to add with t2. Okay, this is the addition part. So this entire expression addition will get it. Okay, then we have as a t1 multiply with d. Okay, so why t1 is nothing but first whatever we calculated this one. Okay, this multiply with d. Okay, so that will multiply it. So here we'll keep in t4. So whatever values are there, these two we have to add it. That is the final value. So that is t3 and t4. We'll add it. We'll get the final value. Okay, so this is how we'll write the 3 address code. So in 3 address code, always after right hand side of the equal to, always you will be having only one operator. Okay, so by default you have to have one operator. Okay, plus minus anything, just one operator should be there right hand side of the equal to. Okay, so operands depending on operator it will vary it. Okay, now here this is the forms. Okay, different forms normally we will use in 3 address codes. Okay, so here x equal to y any operation, then z we are writing it. So here it may be a x equal to any operator y, like x equal to minus 3 will give like this. Okay, or x equal to y directly we are giving it value, or jump, that is nothing but go from one place to one more place, that is go to particular location. Okay, then you have if here depending on this x value go to label L. If it is false, okay, x is false, go to label something else. Okay, and one more if, that is nothing but here we have the comparison. Okay, that is x reloop. Reloop is nothing but a relational operation. Okay, reloop y, relational operation between x and y. Suppose x is less than y, like that. If it is true or false, depending on jump to the particular location. And okay, this is how actually we convert functions here. That is nothing but by using procedure call. Okay, so here procedure call, then we are writing first, if any procedure call is there, for that we are writing param x. Suppose if I am calling function, okay, x comma y, so here what will happen, we are writing parameter, two parameter we are passing, x and y. So here I would write param x then followed by param y. So like that, how many parameters you are passing, those many params you have to write it. So those are parameters you are passing it. Then how will call is nothing but we are saying as a, this is the p, that is whatever function name is there, that then number of parameters. Then here we are receiving it. So whatever you are receiving, suppose here it will equal to some z equal to, it is there. So here z equal, that is function name, that is call p, and function name and number of parameters will give it. So like that we can use arrays and pointers also. So if you observed here, we don't have anything for loop. In normally in C you will use some loops. Okay, that is for loop, while loop, do while loop. Okay, in higher level languages also, those all loops will be converted into if conditions and using jump statement only. So all loops whatever are there, those all things are converted into if condition and depending on jump statement, that is nothing but using go to statement. So here go to statement, and if by combining those two we can write the loop. That's why we don't have anything related to loop here. Okay, this is how one example is there. Okay, suppose I have as a do while loop. Okay, so do one condition, one statement while this condition is there. So what we'll write it, so here first one you would write it one expression, that is nothing but I plus 1 we are keeping in temporary, then we are assigning to I. Okay, so we return this one, and here this is a array. So here, and we are considering the size of this one is 8 bytes. Okay, so that's why we are multiplying a with 8 bytes. Okay, so here it will take it as a I into 8, so it will become value as a t2. So here value will become as a T2. So in T2 is nothing but, suppose I have array that is each element is of 8 bytes. Here we are considering 8 bytes. Okay, so here, so whatever first element if I access, next element if I have to access second element, so I have to increase byte size by 8. So that's why we are multiplying here by 8. Then a of that number of bytes, suppose the starting address is 4000, now we incremented by 4008 for a next element. So 4008 it will access it, then that value we are taking it. Okay, so here whatever we are written this one, so for this we can write in memory, you can get some addresses, so that addresses we can write it. So these positions will use in implementing, that is nothing but here whatever we are writing these things, so these will be implemented. So here whatever we return, this p1, p2, p3, so these will be implemented. Okay, for that we require that one. Okay, so now we'll check so how we can write actually in a file implementing this 3 address code. Okay, so whatever 3 address code, whatever we are saying, these things how we can write it. To implement that one, actually we have 3 data structures. First one called as a quadruples, second one is triplets, triples, third one is indirect triples. So here first one quadruples, what is there is nothing but here we will be having 4 fields. Okay, that is first one is operation, second one is argument, third one is argument, fourth one is result. Okay, so here we will see this one, that is quadruples. Here we have first one is operation, second one is argument, third one is argument, fourth one is result. So here whenever you are writing any statement, one line will be converted into one row in a table. Okay, one table will be maintained. Okay, so in that whatever one line of 3 address code we are writing, that will be there, one row. Okay, like that how many lines will be there, those many rows will be there in this table. Okay, so here this tables 4 fields will be there. So if any field is not applicable, like somewhere you may not be having argument 2, so those fields will leave empty. Okay, so those fields will leave the empty. Here whatever the statement is there, that will be converted into this table formation. Okay, so what we are doing is minus c. So minus is the operator for a c variable, this is the first argument, so where you are keeping a result, so the result we are keeping in t1, like that this entire thing we written here. Okay, so if you observe here, what we are doing is, so for each line 4 fields we are maintaining it. So whatever we want, so each line depending on that variable into 4 fields will be there. Okay, so here we are writing this much memory, actually we are using it. So if you observe here, we are wasting some memory, that is nothing but result one. To reduce that one, we'll use one more method as called as a triples. So here this result phase will not use it, just will use the index. So in which index what is the value is there, so depending on that index directly will calculate it. For example, this one we had as a, this is the expression minus c, we are taking it first, minus c will be multiplied with, so here this is minus c will be multiplied with b actually. So minus c we saved in t1, then t1 actually we are using in quadruple. So instead of using t1 temporary variable, so what we will do, we will use the index only, that is we are saying as a 0. Okay, so in that index whatever value is there, that is result is there, take that one. Okay, like that here normally we'll use the index of that statement. Okay, so whatever statement we executed, that statement result if you want in the next statement, so what we'll do, we'll use the directly indexes. Okay, that is we are saying as a, these are the addresses, go to that address and take that result. Okay, so here if you observe what is happening is in triples we're saving this one, and we're saving the number of temporary variables whatever we're creating, that is nothing but t1, t2, whatever we used to write it, these also. So it may be a registers in some systems, or it may be a actual memory. So accessing that actual memory or register time, we are saving it by using templates. Okay, so instead of here comparison, what will happen in problem with this one is nothing but here in this templates, so whenever you want, suppose second index, so it has to go above and it has to check it and it has to come back. So it is nothing but two pass assembler work it is doing it. If you remember in first model we studied assemblers. In that we have first pass and second pass. So it is nothing but here actually we are using two pass. So every time to create one table itself, if you require two pass, it will be more headache, because it may have a small expression. Okay, so for small expression we can't try use directly two pass assemblers. So instead of that, what we are doing is just we are using indirect triples. That is nothing but that value also whatever is there, those things actually will keep it. So where instead of going for a two pass, in a one pass directly by this table we'll get it. So here whatever operations are there, that operations result where it is kept directly will be knowing it. So those things directly we can use here. So this is nothing but indirect is nothing but, so instead of going back here and checking it and keeping the result here, so what we are doing in this one is directly we are saying the that particular address only, same thing as that of this one, but internally it will take, instead of two pass it will take one pass in indirect one. So these are the three main things how to write the three address code.